So we're going to start with problem A. Each level of a parking garage has 694 spaces. Which is the best estimate of the number of parking spaces on 8 levels of the parking garage? Okay. This is a word problem, so we're going to treat it like one. I'm going to start by circling the question mark. I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to find my question word. Here it is. Which. Which is the best estimate of the number of parking spaces on 8 levels of the parking garage? Okay. Best estimate. In math, when they tell me that they want an estimate or they want me to round, what they're telling me is they don't want me to use the actual numbers. They want me to round them, to kind of give them like a guess. Now, the good thing is whenever you round numbers, you make it you make the math, whatever math you're going to do, you make the math a lot more simple for yourself. So estimate tells me I'm going to round my numbers. I'm going to write that here on the side, just to remind myself. Round. Best estimate of the number of parking spaces on 8 levels. So I've already got one number. Got the number 8. Something I'll tell you is whenever you have a problem and they ask you to estimate, make an estimate or to round, never round 1-digit numbers. If it's a number that is 9 or less than 9, don't round it. Leave it alone. Remember, to round a number, you need to have at least 2 digits because you have to check the neighbor to see if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down. Since the number 8 does not have a neighbor, it stays by itself. I don't round it. But I do need to figure out about parking spaces. Each level of a parking garage has 694 spaces. Now that I can round, because it's got more than 1 digit. 694. The last time we talked about rounding, we said that for rounding there's like a special I guess you could say like a special rhyme or a special rule that we use whenever we're rounding. Who remembers what was that rhyme or that rule that we use whenever we rounding? Violet, what was that rhyme?
5 or more, add 1 more. 4 less, give it a rest.
Okay.
4.
That's fine. That's an okay way to say it. So 5 or more, add 1 more. 4 or less, you could say let it rest, give it a rest, however you want to say it. It all means the same thing. So we're going to round. Since they don't tell me round to the tens place or to the hundreds place, I'm just going to pick the biggest place value. And I'm going to check the neighbor. The biggest place value I have is the hundreds place. There's a 6 there. The neighbor would be in the tens place. There's a 9 there. So if I go and I check the neighbor's a 9. What is that 9 telling me to do? If the neighbor is a 9, do I need to add 1 more? Or am I going to let the 6 rest? Violet, what do you think? Since you gave us the rhyme, what do you think is going to happen?
Add one more.
We're going to add one more because 9 is definitely in the 5 or more side. So I'm going to change this number. It's not 694. I'm going to add one more to the 6, and it's going to be 7. And then since we're rounding, the numbers afterwards are going to be round zeros. So instead of 694, I'm changing my number to 700. You know what? I just realized something. I didn't notice. Look what word they used. Each level of the parking garage has 694 spaces. So every single level has the same amount. If it says the word each, what are the two operations that I should already be thinking of using? Words like each and every and per and equal amount, even amount. What are those two operations I should start thinking of right away when I see words like that? Christopher, what do you think? What are those two operations? When I see words like each and every and per and even amount or equal amount. What are they, Christopher? Okay, who can help Christopher out? Ezekiel, what are the two operations? What would they be, Ezekiel? What would the two operations be that I should start thinking of? Ezekiel needs some help. Who can help out Ezekiel and Christopher? What two operations do I need to start thinking about when I see words like each, every, and per, and even amount and equal amount? Messiah.
Round and divide.
Divide's one of them, but the other one's not round. Divide is one. Who can help Messiah with the other one? Divide and Alexa?
Multiplication.
Divide and multiply. So Messiah, what's that second one? Divide and what?
Multiply.
Divide and multiply. Ezekiel, what are the two operations I should think of when I see words like each and every and per and even amount and equal amount?
Divide and multiplication.
Divide and multiplication. And Christopher, when I see words like each and every and per and even amount and equal amount, what are the two operations I should think of? Divide and multiply. So now I just need to figure out what operation I'm going to use in this problem. So there's a parking garage and it's got multiple levels. I'm going to say there's one level here. And on that one level, We rounded our number, so I'm going to use my rounded number. 700. There are 700 parking spots. Okay? So it's not a teeny tiny little parking lot. There's plenty of space. But that's not it. There is more to this parking garage. There's more than just one level. So there's another level. And there's another level. There's another level. And if I count all of the levels, there would be 8 levels. 8 of them. So what am I going to do? Am I going to multiply these numbers or am I going to divide these numbers? If I'm counting all of my levels, is the number of parking spots going to go up or is it going to go down? Kylie?
It's going to go up.
Going to go up. That means I'm going to multiply. So let's multiply. Normally, I would set up my multiplication with one number on top and one number on the bottom. But remember, we saw from yesterday, when numbers have trailing zeros at the end, I can actually make the multiplication a lot simpler for myself. I'm going to write this sideways actually. 700 times 8. Who remembers what was that trick? A thing I showed you yesterday that makes multiplication problems like these a lot simpler to do. A lot less work. Kylie, you remember?
You take away 2 zeros from 700, and then 100 becomes a 7.
So whenever I have trailing zeros at the end, only when they're at the end, never in the middle of the number, I can take them away for forever, Kylie, or just for a little bit?
Just for a little bit.
Okay, so I can't take them away forever, but I can take them away for a little bit. And you're right, if I take away those zeros for a little bit, it's not 700, it's only 7. 7 times 8 I can do. What is 7 times 8? Kylie, you remember we did this last week. 7s.
$56.
56. Okay. So my answer is 56. I'm done, right? That's it?
No, you gotta put the zeros at the end of 56.
Because I can't take away those zeros forever, I have to give them back. I took 2 zeros away, I have to give back 2 zeros. Since they were at the end before, they're at the end again. And that means my answer, 5,600. That is a lot of parking spots.